They said she was too poor, too unworthy. He left her for fame, for luxury, for the kind of love money could buy. But today, when he tried to humiliate her in front of everyone, she arrived in a way no one expected, with 3 little miracles who carried his eyes. Cut to the ex-husband's shocked face, frozen. Fade to black. This is the story of Daniel and Eliza, a story of betrayal, strength, and the sweetest revenge life could ever write. Eliza sat by the small window of her modest apartment, holding an ivory-colored envelope in her trembling hands. The golden letters spelled out a name that still made her chest ache. Mr. Daniel Reeves and Miss Victoria Lancaster request your gracious presence. Her fingers shook. Her ex-husband was getting married, and he had actually invited her. She let out a soft, bitter laugh. Gracious presence, she whispered. Or humiliation? 3 years ago, Daniel had been everything to her, her college sweetheart, her husband, her dream. They had started life in a small rented room, struggling together, eating instant noodles, and promising that one day they'd build an empire. But when Daniel's business started to rise, so did his ego. He changed. The same man who once held her hands under streetlights now began to look down on her worn clothes, her simple heart, her quiet dreams. When Eliza couldn't bear children quickly enough, his patience shattered. He blamed her for everything. Then one day, he left, signing the divorce papers with a cold, practiced hand. I need someone who fits my future, he said. You'll regret this, she whispered. No, he smiled, you will. And now, 3 years later, he wanted her to attend his wedding, to flaunt his success in her face. Everyone in town knew. The poor ex-wife was invited to see what she'd lost. But what Daniel didn't know, was that Eliza hadn't just been surviving. She'd been building something, someone far more powerful than money could ever buy. That night, as she tucked 3 tiny faces into bed, her triplets, she kissed each of them softly on the forehead. Mama, who's getting married? Little Emma asked, rubbing her sleepy eyes. Someone from the past, sweetheart, Eliza smiled gently. But tomorrow, Mama's going to show him what the future looks like. The next morning, the sun rose like gold fire. A sleek black limousine waited outside her building. Inside, Eliza looked breathtaking, not in a flashy way, but in quiet confidence. Her hair flowed in soft waves, her dress simple yet elegant. The triplets sat beside her, dressed like tiny angels in white. Mama, will he be happy to see us? Asked Ethan. Maybe shocked, she said softly. But that's okay. Sometimes the truth needs to shock people before it teaches them. As the limo rolled toward the Grand Hotel, whispers filled the air. Daniel's friends laughed when they saw her name on the guest list. She'll probably come on foot, one of them joked. Or borrow a bus ticket, another sneered. But when the limo stopped in front of the Golden Gates, and the chauffeur opened the door, silence spread through the crowd like wildfire. Eliza stepped out, holding the hands of 3 beautiful children who all had Daniel's sharp blue eyes. And Daniel dropped his champagne glass. For a few seconds, the entire hall froze. The bride, Victoria, frowned as she noticed Daniel's face drain of color. Daniel, she whispered. Who are those children? Eliza walked in slowly, her heels clicking against the marble floor. Her eyes didn't hold bitterness, only strength. Congratulations, Daniel, she said softly, her voice calm but piercing. You look successful. Eliza. What are you doing here? You invited me. I thought I'd bring our blessings too. She looked down at the 3 children. Triplets. They've been waiting to meet their father. A wave of gasps spread through the guests. Cameras flashed. Victoria stepped back, pale. This can't be true. Daniel stammered. You said you couldn't have children. Doctors said I couldn't, Eliza replied, until I stopped crying long enough to believe I could. You see, Daniel, sometimes miracles wait for heartbreak to end before they arrive. She turned to the guests. He left me because I was poor, because I wasn't enough. But I built a life where love was richer than money, and that's something no wealth can buy. Victoria, trembling, looked at Daniel. Is this true? Are they yours? I don't know. Daniel panicked. Eliza pulled out an envelope and placed it gently on the table. I didn't come here to destroy your wedding, Daniel. I came to return what you sent me: pain, humiliation, rejection. But I've turned it into something beautiful. Then she smiled at the children. Let's go home, my loves. As she turned to leave, the triplets waved at Daniel. Goodbye, Daddy. Tears welled up in Daniel's eyes as he watched the limo door close again, the same door he once slammed behind her life. Weeks later, Daniel showed up at her small home, no tuxedo, no arrogance, just guilt. Eliza. I was wrong. You were, she said softly. But sometimes losing everything teaches you what everything really means. He asked to be part of the children's lives. She didn't refuse, but she didn't depend on him either. Eliza had already built her own world, one filled with love, peace, and strength. And that day, as she watched her children play under the sunlight, she smiled and whispered. The best revenge is not hate. It's happiness.